This high school season, it's time to choose your gaming destiny. Whether it's gaming icons clashing in the ultimate showdown in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, hitting the road and outpacing the competition in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or slinging ink with your friends in colorful battles in Splatoon 3. Bring competitive Nintendo gaming to your high school through Play Versus. Learn more about the upcoming season by visiting playvs.com.
The Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association returns with its Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Finals here on this channel. Kendo joins me here on the call. Kendo, we get to see a little bit of that Smash Ultimate, see how these players perform
Oh,
in one of the biggest moments of their
I
lives.
mean, it really takes me back. It is Smash in its natural habitat, a live environment. You're looking quite literally at your opponent, usually seated on the stage just across from you. It is one of the best things in all of esports, and we get to see it at the highest level of high school in the state of Oklahoma.
Players at the University of Oklahoma Central and ready for action. Let's go ahead and introduce the teams and get to know a little bit about some of the players as well. First champions or champion hopefuls, that is going to be from Preston High School. The Preston A team coming in with Riley, Colt, and Ethan, or Flair, Morganch, and Robin will round out that roster, and then they're going up against the Cyber Wolves.
The Cyber Wolves of Edmond Santa Fe from Edmond, Oklahoma. And on that side, we're looking at Cabe, Matthew, and Dorsey, also known as Bacon, Zenvo, and Prince. Both teams giving us a little different look. Both teams utilizing players like Rob to create pressure, but are also coming in with a very traditional fighting style background. I'm seeing multiple Kens, Kazuya. So it's going to be Smash from a wide variety of looks.
That's right. We got some heavies into the mix too. I know that Flair of Preston brings in Bowser quite frequently, so we'll see a lot of that play, a lot of juggling, a lot of fire into your face kind of action there too. And got to keep that Bowser at a distance. There's so many different styles of play here coming in that you have to be ready for it too. A lot of dominating characters too, so that a lot of characters that have a lot of risk to them, but as long as you can, fit the bill and are ready for their kit and what they have to offer, if you bring everything to the table on a lot of these characters that these players are playing, well, you're going to cause a lot of damage, which makes it interesting because if both sides are bringing the punch, it's just a matter of who gets that last haymaker at the end of the day.
Another interesting fact is the type of play that we're doing. We are doing a battle format that it will include best of three stocks, and then it is a best of five of that scenario. So you're going to see two combatants go up against each other in a best of three for their three stocks. Not just the three stock battle, but you have to win two over your opponent in order to get the initial win. Then at that point, you have to win three of those individual. We could see five total matchups in this state championship.
Oh, well put. It can be confusing, but you
A
put it
little bit.
very well. Yeah, exactly. And to kind of add to that point too, it's not like you can play the same players. Each of these teams, like we already mentioned, there are three players coming in that will be representing their high schools, but they'll have to be played in a particular order. They can only play once in, out of the first three rounds, and then
Mhm.
round four, you can choose whoever you want to throw back in. That's where the coaching comes in, as far as who do
Yes.
you want to throw back in. Strategy comes in. Do they want to change characters? There are so many things that can come into play here. Obviously, character swaps can happen mid best of three of those mini battles, if you will, between these. So much to take into consideration. Our game one matchup will be Riley versus Dorsey. So on the stage, you'll see Flair versus Prince for this one. Riley, aka Flair, is coming in. That's who we mentioned usually is on the Bowser here, but also known to use Rob as well.
Mhm.
So a lot of bigger characters, a lot of big hurt boxes, aka they have to get the job done in the damage department. Otherwise, that damage is coming right back at them as well.
Exactly, but Bowser is a kind of a multifaceted cannon when it comes to that. Can do so
Yeah.
much damage at that high level of damage. So, dangerous character to play. That being said, if you can't maintain the middle with Bowser, you can get tossed very early and very often. I've seen some survivable Bowsers, and then I've seen some of them that have lost their stock at under 50%. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to control your character very well. I do like what you said though about where the coaching comes in, and I shout out to the coaches, Patrick Dixon on the side of Preston High School, as well as Brady Vieri for the Cyber Wolves. There is a lot of thought process that goes into the matchups because again, you're going to see maybe up to 5 matchups. If it's a clean sweep, you're only going to see the 3 matchups. Who do you end up using in that game number 4, in that game number 5? Who anchors? And you may not end up even seeing the anchor whatsoever.
That's right. Exactly right. So if you don't see it's multiple occasions, right, where it's been you make it to that fifth set, but sometimes you don't, and so you have to be prepped. If you use somebody in that game 4 and you drop it and it heads to game 5, then you gotta dive deep into your arsenal of who you've got left in addition to that. So there's so many things to take into consideration. You're right, Kendo. There's multi areas that you need to attack. Be prepared for not only on the stage but also outside the stage to prep for it. But again, Dorsey facing off with Riley. We're about to get their characters here momentarily and head down to the stage, which will also be an incredibly important decision to make along the way. With a Bowser, one of the more heavier sets, typically, if you have platforms on a certain stage, you can utilize those to some degree and really utilize some up Bs to at the right moments to sneak around your opponents. There's so many ways that you can draw it up, and obviously stage striking will be part of this, so the losing side will be able to strike those. We head in the action now. Remember, it's going to be this incredible side of Preston A facing off with the Cyberwolves of Edmond Santa Fe, and we begin now.
And right off the bat, you do see Flare going by Heat Wave here in the Bowser, trying to maintain the center of PS2, Pokemon Stadium 2. And it will need to do that. A Toon Link going to be an interesting choice. It has a lot of ability with projectiles. Is going to be able to fight right back into the middle, but you're going to have to watch the edge. I could see playing the edge quite well, but so many of those Toon Link attacks coming from stationary.
And now, kind of off the edge too, is
Oh,
you just
no.
spam that fire from the Bowser, but Young Link was able to get back up, but now you'll see it. The 2-pixel slam, down B, down you go.
And that is where Bowser can definitely be dangerous. You want to be on the platform, you want to be there as often as possible. Really good return on the boomerang. Will keep things extremely interesting. Breathing fire, not allowing Prince to get anywhere close. And again, we mentioned how the Bowser, the higher the damage, the more the damage being output. And that character is so heavy. At 200 damage, not even skying high.
Yeah, not being afraid, hopping in. And as this Young Link just trying to keep them at a distance, but still gonna fly out. As, my goodness, it's been a great performance by Flare, aka Heat Wave right now, to keep the 2 stocks. Even at that 239 percentage, was able to stay alive temporarily until they were thrown off. Finally, the Young Link and Prince will be able to connect on a stock taken from this Bowser.
Quite the tall tale and the big ask. Gonna need to be found in Prince here in game number 1, but again, there's plenty of time as this first one will go to the Bowser. My goodness. So 2 stocks him. That's rough. We know we're dealing with a really good Bowser middle of the stadium. Maybe a stadium change might be in order. Try to get a shorter platform.
Yeah, Riley showing why there's a 90% win rate in play versus when it comes to that Bowser. Just excellent work all together. And as that young Link, you need to be able to connect. You're very, very fragile. You're very squishy, as we use in other games too, right? And with that damage output that you can get from the Bowser, and Riley handled it to perfection there.
Yeah.
And was able to just take it to young Link, whose defenses are quite frankly pretty low to begin with. So you have to be able to zone yourself well, otherwise that Bowser can break right in and cause that damage that we saw in that first game.
We go to Town and Country, and that widens everything up. Also gives Link a few extra platforms to work with. So I like that in the respect of there is more stationary area for this Link to be able to create. But of course, it also transforms itself on the regular, and off the bat, Flair is cooking.
Yeah, getting right in there just like we saw the last time, and causing this damage, and already a stock ahead, but now some percentage damage taken, by Riley, as Dorsey's really just gotten the call here pretty early against a tough challenge, and has been doing a decent job to get that percentage up there. Obviously, the young Link comes in as a glass cannon, as somebody who can put up that damage pretty quickly. As now from the distance, bombs being thrown, they're much more active with that bomb play, and then suddenly you see a mistake as they fall right off the edge. It's not a move that you want to see in the finals to get taken out just like that without even being hit.
I'd like to see a little bit more of the zoning tools that this Toon Link has be utilized. Play with those bombs. Keep things on the outside looking in. You already know this Bowser is very attenuated to go to you and is taking the fight to you. Utilize what you have in a distance to really create not only space, but greater opportunity. Finally see this Toon Link on the inside, but it's once again just getting smashed up and out of the entire arena. Wow. Double 2 stock is going to see game number 1 go to that Preston High.
That's right. They will win this set here, and with a big fashion too. I mean, that was very quick. Multiple stocks in hand on both of those. Obviously, a little different than crew battles, where it would give you a pure disadvantage moving forward, but instead, it'll be even ground when we get into the second set instead. So, Dorsey did the best to try to keep up with the Bowser, but the Bowser, I mean, has sneaky speed too, along with a lot of that extra firepower, quite literally, from the Bowser from Mario. So, just able to just dominate from the get-go there and win that first set. And, they were just plain and simple. Riley was ready to play. And if you're ready to play as well, by the way, you are able to, because enrollment for the Play versus spring season is coming right at you. Of course, we're excited to announce that it is now open for the spring 2024 season, and it's completely free. Yes, free to compete. Discover the opportunities that Playversus offers and get all the details on the upcoming spring season. That's at playversus.com that you see on your screen. Playversus.com. Don't just watch, play. And we saw Riley show up and play in this game and really start something up and get something cooking for this Preston A side.
Yep, set 1-0 in favor of Preston. Edmond Santa Fe are going to have to get things back together. I know for sure in my heart of hearts that we're probably going to see that Bowser again, because it was extremely dominant. But we're going to get to see at least everybody on the team. So again, it is a best of 5 sets. We saw the first set go to Preston High. We are going to see a changing of the guard for this next one. We'll find out who is playing the second set, and subsequently, we know who plays the third set afterward once we find out who plays the second.
That's right. Yep, it's a matter of math at that point in time. And I do want to say, it's probably the only way that I can relate this to traditional sports, because they're not alike. But, you sometimes start your third line against your first line in order to maybe you see an advantage there that potentially you can win. And if it doesn't work out, then you have perhaps one of your most efficient players come on. And I think maybe that was the case for Cyberwolves, where he wanted to take a risk and put somebody in maybe for the matchup. Maybe it didn't work out. But what you could have is now an advantage coming into the next game around. We'll see if I would imagine that it could be Bacon, a.k.a. Cabe, as part of the Cyberwolves team that could be coming in now. It actually looks like they'll go with Matthew instead, so an interesting choice. They'll go the opposite direction and bring in the second name listed, which is Matthew. Matthew will be going up against Colt here on the Preston A side. So we've got our matchup in hands, and we'll see if it plays out similarly because Preston showed up, and the Cyberwolves will need that answer.
I do love Ken as a character in Smash altogether. Just one for obvious reasons. I mean, I'm looking down here at Kento's eyes. But the secondary, you add traditional fighting game mechanics to a game that's avant garde, extravagant. I do expect with the Ken, you're going to end up needing to counterattack. You're going to want somebody to come to you. It's shorter range. You're going up against a potential Cloud who, that long sword may be enough to stay out of the range. Both are going to be mid to short range characters. I think the Ken's going to want to take the battle to the Cloud before we see that limit break.
Certainly, and they'll have to really get Colt thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
do you play? It's been so reliable for you. You've been playing Cloud over and over again. You've got an 85% win rate on Cloud. You got to go to it. I feel like you have the Nest in the back pocket, but I think you do maybe have enough range. It'll be quick with a footsie character along the other side, like Ken, that'll be constantly working you from the ground. But I think enough air attack is available there for Cloud, especially when that limit bar goes up, which we should probably mention because I know that a lot of parents are watching too. As far as Cloud goes, it will be on the right side. That's Colt. And as that bar goes up, the limit bar goes up. Once it reaches its max, you get all sorts of power and can send Ken packing.
The only thing that I saw going up was the damage percentage. 86% to 0 to start things off, and Colt is taking things to this Ken very early. Both battling for that center of Pokemon Stadium too, and the early lead is going to the Ken, going to the Cloud.
Yeah, Preston A comes right back out and shows the same effectiveness. Look again, but now Ken finally getting a groove on. Able to put some percentage up, but still it's not enough, especially when you get that type of jump out and finish there from Colt again, who hasn't dropped the stock, but have taken two from the Ken. Finally will drop it, but the damage is oh so hurtful right now.
And we're getting into very dangerous confines because the momentum of this entire matchup has gone the way multiple times of Preston High. I'm liking what we're seeing though. Offense on the edge, trying to keep the Cloud out. Not sure that's full on edge guarding because we weren't seeing too much floating out of the Cloud. Oh, the Horyuken up will at least sustain a little extra damage. But now the Ken struggling to keep things in the middle. Another Haryuken not able to get the secure. Wow.
It's just, a bit of a struggle there on the edge guard as well. Just percentage ticking up, and you've caused enough damage, but not enough to keep yourself in this game. Just constantly being pestered. And when the limit bar went up, even if it was an early percentage, that sent it sky high, skyrocketing, and just melted through that damage percentage. An excellent work yet again from this Preston A side. And, you blink, and now if they get one more 3-stock win, suddenly you move up to 2-0 in the best of 5 sets. You're on match point, which would be wild that it would happen this quickly. Cyberwolves need to calm down, deep breath. Yeah, I know it's a big moment, and you've shown signs that you can at least get the damage percentage up here on Colt, who's been on that Cloud and been effective. But it's just going to be a tough climb here. But now is the time where you have to change it. If you can get at least one win in this best of 3, at least you can get some momentum rolling in on your side and really get that team morale up, because it is a battle of all 3 of your members have to be on point throughout the entirety of this best of 5.
I'd like to see Matthew Weaver, the Ken here from Edmond Santa Fe, the Cyberwolves, standing ground a little bit more. Make the Cloud come to you. Try to utilize that middle of the stage, and then also don't be afraid to block counterpunch. Get with what your character is known for the best, and that is utilizing grounded offense. And what are you going to do in order to bring that grounded offense to you? Make sure you get the block in. Utilize that shield to its best of its abilities.
Yeah, and it's because you're right. It's not like they're going up against a heavy, fast air character
Mhm.
like a Falco, right? You've got somebody who needs to come back down to the ground and fight with you there with the Cloud. I know they've
Yeah.
got also some. Cloud's also got that decent attack play to some degree, a well-rounded character, but so is Kin, right? So Kin has that availability to be balanced, to be even, and find things. I think maybe Kin is maybe too even of a character, but when you've been playing and so effective on Kin the whole time, it's just it seems like that's probably where Matthew's going to go back at it, and man, tough climb, man. It's been tough here for Edmund Santa Fe, but you get to
Yeah.
this place for a reason. So we'll see them continue to maybe that's what they're doing right now is calming down their team while we
Mhm.
wait for the next one to start
Well,
up.
that is one of the things you have to do with these Street Fighter style characters within Smash. You have to make others play to your pace and your speed, because if you're trying to play to the extravagance of a Cloud or a Bowser, something that is not normal in tradition for a FGC, you're going to be playing at a pace that your character wasn't made to be playing at to begin with. So, all the more reason, if you can, force that Cloud to come to you and then make Colt play at your pace.
Yeah, you have to be able to anticipate well as well, in addition to that. And
Mhm.
I think it just hasn't been there well enough, especially when you're having to bounce from platform to ground in that town and city. On that map specifically, it just is
Yeah.
very difficult to find themselves in a place where they could do that. And so I'd like to see them stop bouncing around as much, maybe settle down into one place, and then be able to play that counter game, just like you mentioned, to look a little bit more calm. It looks like you're trying to dive in maybe a little bit too quickly. And when you do, the spacing has been so great from Cloud right now that it's so hard to get into that close range fight like you're so accustomed to playing.
Okay, so it looks like we have a little bit of an extension here, Barra. Let's get a pretend battle between me and you. I need to reach into your soul and find out who is your inner Smash Ultimate character.
So it's funny enough that we've seen a Bowser because right now Bowser has been all
Ooh.
I play, all I play.
Oh, mercy. Okay. Well,
Speed,
I'll,
power. What else do you want, man?
I gotta. I take a deep breath, because for me, I ended up, what little I have played has been towards the very beginnings, the origins of Smash. So get me on an N64, get me a Jigglypuff or a Kirby, you're gonna roast me like marshmallows.
Quite literally, like the pups you are. And
Yes.
choosing that one, I love it. I love those
Ah,
choices too. Actually like Bowser's not the only one. I like a good Ridley as well,
yeah.
which means that air just giant heavies are where I'm at to begin with. So that's why I also take in a Pokemon trainer because it's natural with the Charizard, right? Similar situation there. So it makes total sense. Though I'm totally with you. Some of the OG characters that I used, to this day, Link, Yoshi, from time to time. I'll mess around with them. I know it's not quite meta, but it is what it is.
We are in dangerous confines. Bolt has the limit break already.
Wow.
Will utilize it. Able to survive, though, is Matthew Zenfo. Keeping things going despite being highly damaged. One shot, all it's going to take. Finally gets a couple of shield blocks, but it's one swing of the sword does so much damage.
Yeah, the knockback I thought would be more great, at least enough to knock them on. But somehow Ken just keeps flying and just spinning their way down. And I wonder how much of this damage they can take before they fly off the edge. Because then you got the side hits as well coming at you, trying to swing around and get these this last smash, because that limit bar is all the way up. It's only going to last so long, and so is your shield though on the other side. They're going to now be stunned, and off the stage you go.
But I am seeing a couple more elements that I was calling for in between the set games, and that is utilizing some of that shielding, some of that blocking, and then on top of it, it's going for a few grabs. We're zoning things out, trying to create the edge, and also making this Cloud come to you. Really good start to the second stock. Evens things out. What a comeback.
The spacing much better from this Ken. I love seeing that adjustment from Matthew here. I notice Zinvo in this game right now, and Zinvo's on this Ken has been doing a good job to get Cloud to commit. And then once that sword is swung, then that's it. There you go. You need that shield. You need that shield up, and then once they drop it, they swing that sword, then you can hit them. You have enough time in between. You have enough of that lag between the attack where you can expose them and hit them, and that's how they got in this damage.
Still doing much better than we saw before, but the edge guard will come through, and only 28 damage gone. Oh, it goes for the grab before. Gets the dunk, however, on the grab. It's a one-stock victory, but it was done in style.
Oh, of course. You had that opportunity and you can't pass it up. You have to be confident in it because if you miss, you'll lose a stock automatically, and that's not cool. But so confident to be able to land that and get that smash and anticipate it well enough. You've landed that combination so many times where you're confident to go back to it. And even though you lose a stock, hey, take them down with you. Why not? I've done that so many times as a Bowser, where you have that grab, you just toss him directly off, and it leaves him basically no room to get back on. What a brilliant job to work that. And so now we can talk about it. Already match point. 2 sets in the hands of this Preston High School, Preston A squad of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Finals here. And I just, if they keep playing this way, if their third is as strong here, I mean, what can they do? The Cyberwolves are begging for answers here.
And I look at the win rates throughout the regular season for Preston. You're talking about not a single one of them has less than 80%.
Love that.
So we know we're going into Ethan, who has an 80% Kazuya versus a 68% Rob and Cabe Carroll. I like the Rob here, just for pure offensive output, going to be able to do quite a bit to punish the Kazuya. But given what we've seen already, I'm going to need that Rob to stand fast and be able to convert on a couple of those shield blocks.
Yeah, needs to be able to do that, and it's tough to do that when as a dominating character where you want to continuously just control the pace, control the stage, and be able to send them skyward. And I see opportunities to do that against this Kaguya, but you can't get in tight, which is very difficult. Because Rob does rely a little bit on grabs from time to time in order to open up some things. So Kaguya could be able to cause enough damage here. So I think for me, I'm looking forward to this matchup. It's going to be a difficult one, though. I mean, you said it best. Even Robin, Ethan, who's got the lowest percentage, is that 80% win rate, and the way that Kazuya is able to dominate as well. This is going to be an action-packed back and forth, smash you up, haymaker back and forth type battle that I'm anticipating. We're in for a lot of fun.
I think it's going to come down to the gyro and how well versed we end up seeing Cabe with that gyro. It can be used as a great zoning tool. It can also drastically weaken your game if you use it haphazardly. I'd like to see the utilization of it to create jumps, to make space, and then counterattack the dives in.
That's right. And we'll see a lot of examples of that here early. And now, does your playstyle change? How does your mentality change? Knowing that you just had to kind of sit back and watch, it's a very difficult to be in from the competitor standpoint. When we talk about here, how you have to come in and the expectations, or you win or your team is done. That puts a lot of pressure on any competitor, much less a high school student looking to at least keep their team alive. It can be a mental hurdle to try to get over, that you're discouraged that you haven't been able to do it. Or can you react in the way where you say, okay, my other 2 teammates that weren't able to quite get it done yet, but I'm going to come out here, prove why we've gotten to the finals in the first place. And then perhaps they go back to you in round 4 and keep that momentum going and give yourself a chance in the 5th set.
It can be a neuron activation moment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
is
yeah.
exactly what they are going to need out of Cabe, out of Bacon, bringing that Rob. It's definitely a tough spot, but my favorite thing about high school level championships is that it creeps up on you, that opportunity to shine in the greatest moments. So if we end up seeing it, it's the stuff of legend when it goes down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to be Noted down in these high schools' histories or esports programs. Obviously, we love to give the shout out to the organization, the associations that really run this. The state organization here in the state of Oklahoma has been absolutely fantastic in bringing this kind of competition, and we see it all over the country now, where this is just these special moments by these high schoolers are not possible without it. So obviously, a big shout goes out to the Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association for being able to allow these students an avenue to
Yeah.
participate in this, and also, obviously getting their schoolwork done in the meantime too. To be well balanced student athletes is what it's all about at the end of the day, and we have some great ones that we've already seen.
We're also going to see if Coach Brady for the Cyber Wolves is able to really help out the team in the most critical of moments. Keep that mental working in a forward momentum. Positivity going to be exactly what they need. When the going gets rough, well, we'll find out who gets going. Will it be Preston High School getting the secure or Edmond Santa Fe starting a comeback?
And we get to go to everybody's favorite stage, the gentleman's
Ah.
agreement stage, if you will. Um, the the stage is PS2, and they call
Yeah.
it PS2 because it creates the best games. Kendo. I've played PS2 way back in the day, and it's the most fun to me. Think about that for a second. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And plus, you got the two platform stage is pretty wide too. So we'll kind of get into the breakdown of what that means. Kazuya gonna try to be plain and simple in the centralized areas, whereas Rob is gonna try to work back and forth. There's a lot of mobility in the air. So perhaps it will create some of those great games that PS2 is known for.
I don't know if I had enough blocks on my memory card to understand what you were trying to get at, but
That's fair. That's totally fair.
okay. There's like 2 or 3 people who are like, "Oh, they're making old gamer jokes right now."
Too real. Too real, Kendo.
It got very real very fast. I was always Nintendo 64 kid. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly. I know it's the same. I mean, totally just I'm totally just PS2. That's where I started. Um,
Nintendo. Anyway.
Game
Here we
time.
go.
Let's hit it. We've got, of course, we've been going over the matchup for quite some time here at the Kazuya. Coming in and looking to close things out for Preston A. And it's already gotten off to that pretty quick start here. Able to chase down this Rob, who can really move back and forth pretty quickly, but still that hurt box is such a huge one where you can damage Rob from basically anywhere across the stage because of how big he is. And that's why the percentage ticks right back up.
Definitely both of these combatants looking to be as oppressive as possible. Lost Gyro, though. You're going to see a little bit of the toolkit for Rob fall away. Get it back, and now the Kazuya is significantly down. This Rob is on fire early.
Yeah, this is what you anticipated. It goes back to the conversation we had where it's like, did you save this Rob in your back pocket so that way you can take out one and get something going towards this tail end? Maybe it is in a quick start. But still has to be careful here as, Kazuya packs that heavy punch just the same as Rob. And we've seen a couple examples of that. A great job to dodge with the shield and launch them in the upward fashion with the up smash from Kazuya. And quite literally an uppercut in order to send it back in.
Yeah, and I really like the fact you're seeing this Kazuya standing tall in the face of adversity. Did a great job of limiting damage of the second stock to just 50%. And even now has things just about even. The Rob struggling with the quick shifts, staying grounded. Once we get to the high platforms, though, it seems like it's Rob's playground, utilizing zoning tools to gain and maintain the middle of Pokemon Stadium 2.
Finally finding some room and some space with this Kazuya at hand to get off the laser, to get off the rotation. And right now, a couple of hits there, and Rob was left with just damaging Kazuya to some degree, where Kazuya is going to be sitting here in front and center. Try to return the favor with a laser of their own, but will be shielded here while Rob does a great job to get back onto stage 2. That recovery was impressive, but had to look out for the laser from Kazuya as they continue to trade punches with their long games. We anticipated a couple of exchanges pretty close here, but in the second stock for both of these players, they're playing at more of a distance. They're playing at more of a distance where they can attack from that far advantage point.
We've also seen this Rob be extremely aggressive, gonna get to be able to push through. And finally, we have an offensive look from Edmond Santa Fe. The Cyber Wolves really grinding down, but another secure at only 50%. Still plenty of time for Preston High and this Kazuya.
Yeah, even if you're at 100, just 100%, he's going to cause you some pain if you get in close, and that's exactly what they did. The laser's out, though, and a blaze in here for the Rob. Rob continues to try and in this one here where it's at, it would effectively be the first time that the Cyber Wolves would get on the board at all. It's been 2-0 and 2-0 in the first couple of sets if you're just joining us. And right now, though, we're looking at a potential comeback here. You see them charged up. The rage from the Kazuya, able to cause even more damage there as the grab was done. You see Kazuya glowing red, and you know you're in for some pain.
Now all it takes is one. There it is, able to smash through. Despite having more damage, the Kazuya will win and comes from behind in the moment.
That's insane. And that is a pure example of how momentum is in every esport. It doesn't matter. In competition, if you have your team behind you in winning games, like we've seen, winning sets, like we've seen, 2-0, it doesn't matter how far you're behind. That's a factor in it. Plus the fact that Kazuya can be dominating. Both of these players can be dominating. You know, both of these characters are like that. Rob and Kazuya have the best chances of being able to make these comebacks happen. And when the rest of your team is performing, so can you.
I really appreciate the patience by Robin on the Kazuya, really creating a circumstance where the Rob had to come to them. And so that changed the entire complexion. It seemed like when the Rob was doing best, it was utilizing its up air, utilizing the to punish and combo, creating tons of damage. When there was oppression, it was extremely effective. But when they were striving to get in close for contact, they were struggling, and the Kazuya was able to create perfect counterattacks.
That's right. Kazuya, only character in the game where you have multitudes of different moves that you can go with. It's not just side smash. You can go up, down, or sorry, up right smash, up left smash. There's so many different combos where you have, it requires a player that is incredibly talented and can not only utilize but actually like mentally remember all the special moves that you have in addition to just your main kit. So Kazuya can do so many things, and I thought they might have been at a disadvantage whenever they went rage at just 20% on the other on their opposing character. You know, Rob was only at the 20%. The rage was used off the bat. I was like, maybe you want to kind of just go at them, cause a little bit of pain, but at the end of the day, you only get that rage whenever, you know, it shows up. So you just want to cause that damage, and it did do enough in order to prepare themselves to get a couple of those combos out and be able to send them packing off the edge. And now it's just one 3-stock battle away. Preston's that close already to a Smash Ultimate victory here.
Not the way you want to go down if you're Edmond Santa Fe. So the Cyber Wolves will be looking to hunt in the most darkest of times. They're going to need the full reverse sweep in order to bring everything back. And it's going to be, once again, the Rob, the Kazuya. We are at Town and Country.
Down in City we go.
Oh,
it is. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
I think I messed it up earlier.
TNC.
TNC, baby. That's right. That's right. Kazuya is the one that will get closing out in a quick combo there, but Rob is really, really quick to return the favor, too. And look as he just completely goes to town. That's a side B2 and slams him down enough to get back. Yes! Off the stage. What a hot start and a quick answer. That is exactly what the Cyber Wolves needed, and Cave delivered.
Yeah, what you have in Rob is someone with the ability to juggle and press all the way off the side of the stage, and this is bodes well because DNC has been a brilliant place for them to really create off of it. There's another one he's gonna get back.
How in the world? And only at 13.8%. That is incredible work from them early in order to combine with two of those connections now. Now that you know that it's available, you know the combo's there. That completely changes the entire complexion of this not only 3-stock battle, but perhaps the entirety of this series if they can continue to land the combos like we've seen. And now they're already up to 91%, only surrendering an extra 8% that we saw before. And now that range from Rob comes out too with the lasers. They won't be able to connect on that one, and the down tick still can't get Rob to fall off. This man is invincible.
My goodness, utilizing the lasers and the gyro to their fullest to just cause havoc. This is a 3-stock victory, and it is a dynamic statement.
Oh, what did I tell you, Kendo? Both of these characters have the ability to take stocks instantly
My goodness.
because of how dynamic they are. That laser combo got Robin deep, and you have to find a way to get in with the Rob on the Kazuya, and the only way to do that is by stunning them, making sure that they're not prepared, and that's what they did, and just showed up in the right times, and were able to combo it out towards the edge to not let Kazuya get back. I mean, obviously, recovery is not the number one thing that Kazuya is known for,
Yeah.
so if you can get them out wide, then you got them really second-guessing, and that is a huge win for the Cyberwolves.
The Kazuya slow clap is definitely a mood right now. If you're Preston High, you're not feeling pretty good about that. One thing's for sure, you want to change the stage. You're not going back to TNC. B&B, you may as well have called it, because it was R.O.B. who was the MC.
A B&E, a breaking and entering into Kazuya's kit. And boom, sent them packing. And I imagine they run it back though, because just Kazuya has been the only person that they've really gone to continuously. And obviously the high percentage win rates, you got to get back to it. But when you're 3-stocked, you at least like sit there for a second, like, hold on, what happened? It's not all about stage, right? Like those combos were just were a victim of just the kit that's relatively complex from Kazuya. So the minute that Rob was able to simplify and just go for just trying to bulk strong arm with the Rob, that's when things started to change there. It's less thinking about what you're doing and more so just get in there and cause some damage. And damage was done. My goodness.
Well, we go into a decisive number 3 in set number 3. There's still a chance for it to all end for Preston High.
Can they do it? Can they get
Can
the
they
job
do
done?
it?
I believe so. I mean, we saw it in the first one.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, we had to see a comeback victory from the Kazuya earlier. So to close out, surely it wouldn't require that type of effort. I know they're going to come back. They're not going to get 3-stocked. Or at least knock on wood, right? We never want to see that happen in the finals game, right? It's that one-sided tilt. It's just incredible. But I see them coming out. I know it's going to be close. And we'll see exactly how close. Is it an opportunity? Yes, for Preston A to close out. But is it going to be here and now? Or do we go to another set where we get to completely change perhaps who we see next? We can only find out by this 3-stock battle here to perhaps determine the winner.
And if I am the Rob, I want to come out fast, furious, and I want to maintain the exact same idea that we saw before. If I'm Robin on the Kazuya, I want to utilize the block to make sure you phase out that gyro, phase out that laser, and really create a different pace to this battle, because the Rob took you to school and didn't allow you to have anything to say about it.
Yeah, there was no chance to breathe, let alone get any damage in. I mean, I think the final, even the percentage was under 100 for the first stock of Rob whenever they were able to do that. So much different feel here for the first little bit, but still being dominated off the edge too. Edge guarded like crazy and sent packing. And this is why Rob is so difficult to play against.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the gyro is so dangerous, because you can just leave that thing there and cause havoc as an edge guard. So really good stuff, getting the Kazuya to the edge and really utilizing these the sides of these stages and forcing the Kazuya away from the platform.
With both the gyro and the spinning attack, you got to imagine that Kazuya's just dizzy, but not dizzy enough to find and locate the target there and punch a dead-on square in the nose. Out you go. If there was a nose from Rob, which I assume there's maybe one built in on that interface. Either way, he's getting dominated here. Kazuya right back at you. Robin doing a great job. Now we'll send them out, but the knockback not enough to really cause Rob to be nervous at all. As Heroes, aka the Rob character, now with a good hold too. The slam down onto the platform, and Kazuya was left just trying to pick themselves up off the scratched ground.
That's twice they used the gyro, and it ended up going the wrong way. Finally, a smash comes through, and now the Kazuya up by one stock has the ability to really make things happen, but Heroes with the Rob. Almost able to get a punish on that combo with the up air.
Oh, and the laser too. It's causing damage. Even if you're being edge guarded, you're still causing a little bit of that percentage up, but Rob will even things here and only surrendered 26, but then that's doubled as Kazuya came right back down and got in their face and really took this strategy out of the eyes of Heroes by making that attack so quick. And the spinning attack, trying to time it correctly. You see the spacing from this Rob, trying to keep at a distance from the Kazuya. This is exactly the opposite of what we saw last game here, Kendo.
It is very much, and credit to Robin for really making the Rob play to its pace. Been blocking a couple gyros. We've seen a couple gyros fly off of platform. Both are very even in damage at the moment. You want to get off of the side because that might happen, and we're going to go to set number 4.
Oh, just like we saw in the first game of this set, we see a comeback effort, but this time for the other side, not only in the game, but also in this set, as they go 2 in a row in these 3 stock battles in order to force a 4th set now, and they've got one in the back pocket. A very clutch way to do things here from Cabe, aka Bacon, aka Rob, here on this one. And we'll see what they go to next. You gotta continuously roll. You gotta roll back with the Rob here in this 4th set, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you have a hot hand, I think you should play it. My understanding, though, is we have Riley coming back with the big bad, the Bowser, potentially.
Oh.
Although, who knows? If we saw a Rob versus Rob, I wouldn't be opposed.
It's possible. And it's just like who does it best, right? And with the 100% win rate from Riley that we saw from Preston A, I wouldn't doubt it. But then again, you have to consider because the Bowser was played so well. Riley played it so well. So like, how do you like justify playing the Rob on Rob? Maybe just mono e mono. Just go PS2, 2 Robs, and just let them go at it. That'd be fun.
Indeed. And then I'm just double checking. Yes, we do have Bacon coming back, or Cabe coming back. Most likely will be that Rob yet again. So play the hot hand. If you are Edmund Santa Fe, the Cyberwolves going to be trying to keep the pressure on. I like that a lot. I also, I'm really hoping for a Rob versus Rob. This could be a lot of fun if we get a mirror match, especially a 100% Rob versus a interesting Rob coming out of Cabe.
That's right. Yeah. And Rob can be played in so many. Well, I say so many, but a few different ways. I wouldn't say so many ways. You still want to be that dominating factor. The reason why Rob is so successful for Cabe and has been basically all season long, all semester long, is because it's been very, very attack heavy, very use your tools, but also use those tools as gyro to get them to commit to one direction, then be able to dominate with the combos. Right, the spin attack was deadly for us here when we talk about putting them off the side. So it's been very, very strong effort there on the Rob, but likely going to be the Bowser again. We'll have to see when they confirm in, but either way, I mean, you get big on big hurt boxes and heavy versus heavy to some degree. I know Rob can still be causing a lot of damage, and that's where I feel like the Bowser could come into.
Well, I feel like the weight of the Bowser also goes a long way into countering what we saw out of Cabe's Rob. Cabe's Rob was all about getting a juggle started and then maintaining the momentum. Yes, on edge, the Rob might have an advantage, but if you can't get that Bowser out of the middle, you're going to have a rough time. And that Bowser is just going to get higher and higher on its damage scaling the more you can't get it off the side.
you try to use that same spacing against the Bowser, which is like a little bit farther away, and use your lasers, you're gonna get hit by the fire, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
the breath is gonna just take you out, and so you have to work around that first. You have to be proactive, but at the same time be able to break through and go center stage to send Bowser out, and that's no easy task, especially with that shell that you have to break too. Quite literally, we say shelling in, but then like with Bowser, that spinning shell can cause damage while being able to guard yourself too. So that's going to be the struggle at hand as we do confirm lock it in. It'll be the Rob versus Bowser battle here for this chance again, second chance, and they'll even have a third chance if needed for Preston A to close out. But for Cyberwolves, they're looking to feed that hot hand to get this Rob going again, and it seems pretty even off the get-go here. But the Bowser is feeling a little bit of the bad damage. He already got a laser off without having to worry about that fire breath right off the bat.
I think the trap here is, as much as you are Flare, you want to utilize some of those side platforms. The elevated platforms are not going to do you any favors other than finding the up airs, just like that one from the Rob. We see quite a bit of damage done. You're going to want to plant yourself in the middle and in a spot where you can cause havoc with slams like that and the fire you can breathe. Oh, a catch, a smash down, will not be able to finish it. We've seen so much mobility from this Rob.
Riley is such so clean with it. The way they were able to grab Rob there on that platform was spectacular. Great timing, great patience. Was able to pull that Rob back down, but the Rob's been able to answer it. And now that Bowser, even heavy above 150%, yes, a Bowser could survive, but it's very difficult to do that. As you saw Rob do exactly the same thing, have to do that as they come back down. Good side smash to get things going. Tried that, but the laser kept them vulnerable. And Rob, when they pulled that down, caught a hand there from the Bowser to send them packing.
Oh, and misses the timing on the edge guard. Could have seen him down. Now you have that Bowser once again in the middle of the stage. Oh, so dangerous there. Finds themselves on the outside. 174 the damage. A lot coming in on the ratio because of how dangerous the revenge is from Bowser.
Riley's picking the right times to strike back, so at least you're causing a little bit of damage while you try to figure this out, but you're right.
No!
Rob's been excellent, but not good enough. Down to one stock now, while meanwhile Riley, aka Bowser here for Preston A, is still with full stocks available, all three, but now getting bullied, pestered by that gyro. Like to see that a little bit sooner, but still it's causing them all sorts of issues, but they're still alive with this first stock. And now we'll drive Bowser into the ground in perfect combination with the down smash, up smash to take that stock.
Almost lost it though, so I was worried we might have seen the juggle lost, and instead we will see a very tall task, 91% damage, and you don't have the revenge to go with it. We've already seen a Bowser that has been 200 plus on the damage before going down multiple times, and got to give credit where credit's due. What Riley has been able to do in high damage circumstances has been clinical, textbook Bowser. You want to get up to that high damage, and you want to have the survivability that separates this character from so many others. Side smash on the edge guard, love it.
That's ridiculous. What an insane performance. Riley is on a new one. Took that momentum that Rob had built, and it just was able to take them out without even questioning it, which is wild to me. I thought Lucario was the only one that had the ability to cause more damage at high percentages, but it seems like Riley figured that out with Bowser regardless. I know it doesn't actually happen in game that way for Bowser, but I think it was for sure one stock that they took out above 200%, but they were above like 160, 170 for that first stock taken. So to do that amount of damage at that high percentage, you're right, Kendo. That was impressive work from Riley.
It's credit to the positioning. And it's not something we get to hear very often, but stage positioning was huge for Riley on this Bowser. And now if you're the Rob, you have to find a way to get in. If you see the Bowser trying to get a little bit further out, what do you want to do? Find a way to dash right on by it. There's not too much dash to be utilized when you're Rob, but you're going to have to dig deep within your programming and find it here. Otherwise, it could be the Bowser and our friends at Preston High who end up winning the whole thing.
That's right. And Gabe elects to again go back to PS2. And I don't hate it because you did so many big things here. And you were so close to being able to get that one stock. If a couple of other moments had gone right, you would have had yourself a big win. But instead, another early stock taken. Only 40% damage taken this time by Riley. And now, if they can continue this same pattern, continue this same bit of dominance, it'll be a Preston A victory.
My goodness, that one looked like fly swatting to the side and already has evened up the damage for the second stock. The Rob taking to the sky, and I'm not sure that's a good thing because you have that upward slap that this Bowser's able to do. And it would be one thing if landing the slap meant nothing. No, that's a 30% damage slap every time it hits. You're down another stock. So it might be time to celebrate because Flair, Riley, the Bowser has it all in the moment.
And it's nothing more than just landing the fair over
Wow.
and over again. That kick, and that's the one to end it as well. Right on cue with that forward kick. And my goodness, Riley just riling things up here with the Bowser and dominant performance over Cabe, who showed us so much good in Rob.
Yes.
But this squad of Preston A, of Preston High School, are your champions. Wow.
Really good stuff for the Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association. They will be your champions.
That's right.
And give it up one more time for Riley Bartnett, Colt Morgan, and Ethan Kastner. They are your champions, and they did such a good job. That Bowser was impressive.
It was. It's unstoppable. And 90% win rate, and that's something to be said. We see 100% win rates with other characters, but that's because you used them maybe once, maybe twice, and you got that win. You secured it. But that was over 10 times that Riley played this Bowser. So, like, 9 out of 10's pretty good, I would say. I would argue. And make it way more after this effort, too. Riley really carried, I would say Riley carried them to some degree, won those 2 sets. But you can't say that. Colt did a whole lot of work there as well. I mean, Colt on that cloud was absolutely outstanding going up against the Kin on the other side. And really this full team effort. Ethan might have gotten beaten there for the Cassie, but that was even really close too. This team from the get-go had 3 strong links in such an impressive victory that they got here.
I only saw one Toon Link. No, I'm joking. I apologize.
I see what you did there.
Terrible, terrible
Nice.
person coming through on the other side of the casting booth. But I agree with you completely. And one of my favorite things about Smash, especially at the high school level, is that it is all about learning, getting to the point where you are so comfortable with your character, you can take on whatever challenge comes your way. And for what we saw of Preston, I truly believe they have competitors who are very comfortable in their characters. The Bowser was able to show us multiple looks and against a Rob that was extremely good at what it liked to do. Once it was comfortable, that last 3 stock was amazing to behold.
It was. The Bowser, just so much chaos. Just forward air after forward air were landing, and it was just something else to behold. And just great work from all these players, too. It doesn't matter if you were just in the finals, if you were eliminated in the semifinals, or even made the bracket to begin with. There's so many competitors out here that is excellent work. And if you want to be one of these competitors within Play Versus, it's never been easier. It really hasn't. Because right now, you can get in the action yourself at playversus.com. Enrollment for the spring 2024 season, it's now open. It's now free to compete. Discover the opportunities Play Versus offers and get all the details on the upcoming spring season at playversus.com. The link is on your screen in that graphic. Play VS, pronounced playversus.com. Don't just watch, play. Kendo, been an excellent day here again. A shout out to the State Association. Again, Oklahoma has been nothing but awesome in supporting not only the Smash community, but also other games, of course. And it's been fantastic to watch them and everything here, too. And Kendo, thank you again for joining us. And we'll see more of you here during the week.
Hey, yes, we will.
All right. Let's take care of business. Thank you to everybody around who's been helping us out. The producer behind the scene in Goose, also with his support unit of Blasky, always behind the scene and helping us out. Kendo, Play Versus as well for doing this. University of Oklahoma Central for hosting the players there live and in person too, and everybody else involved. All of you watching at home, thank you for watching as well. All the parents and students involved too. Until next time, we'll see you all later.